Hello, my name is Melissa Fry. I have read the Daniel book 2020 in its entirety. The moral principle I chose that is in harmony with my spiritual beliefs is fidelity. Um, the ACA Code of Ethics from 2014, it defines fidelity as honoring commitments and maintaining trust in a professional relationship. While learning about the 6 different principles, I would imagine that different scenarios that could possibly cause a conflict with my personal values, um, as well as the ACA Code of Ethics principles. There are many examples of fidelity throughout scriptures. Before reading Counseling Principles and Christian Beliefs, an integrated approach by Denise Daniel, I struggled with this principle because I believe that there were extenuating circumstances, and the principle I'm talking about is fidelity. I'm sorry, I need to clarify that. But anyway, I believe that there are extenuating circumstances that excused me from honoring this principle. An example is, having to report suspected abuse, okay? You cannot remain faithful to the client at that point because we are mandatory reporters. However, during the course of this class, God has showed me that being a mandatory reporter does not necessarily mean that I'm violating fidelity. Because during an intake with the client, they sign an informed consent form, and hopefully, and it should, that informed consent form should have all of that information on there about the limitations of confidentiality. And with them knowing that ahead of time, then I don't feel that we are violating that ethical code. The process for me was a little bit back and forth, kind of like when Jacob wrestled with God. It felt like a constant internal debate, okay? The challenge that I face is self-doubt, not being sure that if I'm in God's will or that I'm doing the right thing. A person could go back and forth on all of the principles, but we just have to listen to what God says. Autonomy is a principle that I still feel at war with, and it's not that I don't respect a person's rights or my client's rights and wishes, but things can happen. An example, okay, the job that I currently work at, I'm a nurse, and I work with alcoholics and drug addicts and those with severe mental health issues, and some of them come to us. They've already developed like a substance abuse induced dementia or alcohol induced dementia, and they still make their own choices. Okay, so it's difficult for me to practice autonomy when I feel that they are making their own choices that are going to potentially harm them in the long run. So autonomy in that situation, to me, I don't feel comfortable utilizing autonomy or respecting that ethical principle. I feel like if I do, then I could potentially be violating another ethical principle, non-maleficence, by allowing them to cause themselves harm. So I don't, that's what I'm really struggling with. According to Gerger et al. From 2020, psychotherapy must be transparent and honest to respect the patient autonomy, as well as be actively involved, allowing the client to be actively involved in their decision making. I agree with that. However, if they are not capacitated, then they can't really be involved because they may not even know that they're in the world. So I will have to work on being an advocate for my clients, to respect their autonomy, and that's if that situation allows. If they are not capacitated, then I can involve the family. I can involve whoever they have chosen as their medical power of attorney, or maybe they have an advance directive. I really have to work on that, on utilizing my skills to promote autonomy for them if they cannot do it for themselves. But thank you for listening. God bless you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.